Throughout the program, we've shown you what's happening in Hong Kong on this, the day when communist China celebrates its 70 years in power. Now, we're a financial program, so we want to know what impact, if any, these events will have on the China trade talks and on the future of Hong Kong as a financial center. But we are also dealing with individual freedom. That's what those brave demonstrators want. That's what these protests are all about. We should not forget that. The British left in 1997, and they left in place an agreement that Hong Kong would keep its liberties. China has reneged on that agreement. Xi Jinping is trying to impose his brand of communist dictatorship. Today, there's blood on the streets. A demonstrator has been shot. Forget trade and finance for a moment. Think instead about the struggle that's taking place as we speak. It's a confrontation between the forces of repression and the millions of ordinary people who want a free vote and an independent judiciary. It's not just Hong Kong. There were peaceful demonstrations in Taiwan over the weekend as well. So as you see this unfolding, remember what's at stake here: freedom and liberty. And really, isn't it great to see those youngsters flying the American flag? Let's get right at it, please. Lisa Booth, Fox News contributor, joins me now. Lisa, blood spilled on the streets of Hong Kong. Do you think perhaps President Trump should be more in support of the demonstrators?
I do.
Overtly in public?
Well, and he has an opportunity as, China and the United States try to hammer out a trade deal here. I'll say, actually, interesting story. I started my career on Capitol Hill working for Frank Wolf, who was the co-chair of the Human Rights Caucus. China was a huge issue for him, particularly fighting for the Uyghur population as well. And when I first started working for him, his computers were hacked by China, trying to get information about political dissidents and some of the work that he had been doing in that position.
Really? But do you think the president should come out in public a bit more strongly for the protesters? Or is that something he should back away from? What do you think?
I think it depends on what's happening behind closed doors with these conversations. But I think the behavior of China demonstrates why we have such concerns in trying to hammer out a trade deal, right? So they're not giving Hong Kong the autonomy that they are supposed to. They've reneged on that commitment, just like they have as we've tried to hammer out details of the Chinese trade agreement, right? Back in May, they reneged on promises that they had committed to changing their laws. And so I think this demonstrates and underscores why we need to ensure that that accountability is in place.
I want to show I'm going to give a little warning here. We're about to show you a screenshot which might be disturbing to some people. We're showing you the picture of the moment before the protester was shot. Okay, that's just the moment before. He was shot at point blank range in the chest. He's in hospital in critical condition. Now, Lisa, that's blood on the streets. I mean, don't we seem kind of close to a real crackdown by the Chinese in Hong Kong?
Well, I mean, this is what fighting for freedom looks like. And I think this demonstrates how important freedom is. And, this is not what you see people like Antifa out fighting in the streets for when, they're rioting and they're hurting people and they're destroying property in the name of fascism when they're the real fascists, right? This is what fighting for freedom looks like. And so I hope that Americans look at what's going on in Hong Kong and realize how lucky they are to live in the United States of America, where we do have true freedom.
Well said, Lisa. Thank you very much indeed. Now, before